Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. As always, my name is Eli with Pokémon USA. If you don't already know, Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically our live streaming day. Obviously, this last Tuesday we didn't because of holidays, but we are back on our regular live streaming schedule. So you don't, of course, have to ask questions pertaining to the most recent video because if you haven't already guessed it yet, the main title for this video is the same as the previous video posted because I don't have a lot of time to go through the comments and answer everyone's questions. So this is an opportunity for you to, of course, ask. But with all of this, of course, being said, if you haven't already, of course, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to enter into our weekly giveaways. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, make sure, of course, you check out the links down in the description below. But, of course, jumping into it. Unable to connect the chat. Please try again later. Why? Why is there always technical difficulty issues? I hope that's not true and this is a joke. Why does it say the chat is unable to be connected? I mean, it says we're still live. Okay, it says it's working now. Jesus loves me. That was fun. Always something, isn't it, guys? But let's give a couple shout out to the people who are here. I don't expect this to be a super busy stream. It is, of course, still that week in between the holidays, you know, Christmas and New Year. So most people are on vacation, aren't able to make it for the live stream, but you know, if we have more people than expected, then awesome. But starting off, let's give a couple shout out to people that are here: Seaman, Saint Lee, Scratchum, Nobody, Stephen Ling, and then Chris Atlano. Good to see you guys here. Finally get to be here for the live stream. LOL. Yeah, it's kind of tough, man, because like I've been doing the lives obviously around the time frame of 12:30 to 2:30 for a while now. And I've always wondered like what the best time is people realistically think I should do it, because I took a poll not that long ago and was like, hey, what do you guys think the best time to do live streams would be? Because for most people, it's like I always figured, all right, well, if you can make it to the live, presumably speaking, right? If it's usually something you're going to listen to while you're working. Most people at this point work from home, of course, unless you're like in the restaurant industry, or if you aren't working from home, then usually you're at a desk and you're listening to something while you work. And so that was kind of my first thought process. But then my second thought process is, okay, well, if I were to say, let's stream at 5:30 when everyone gets off of work, is that something that people are going to listen to? A lot of the people in my age demographic that follow me are anywhere in their mid-20s to mid-30s. So it's like a lot of people have families to attend to, so they can't just sit and like listen to a live stream, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like there's always like that kind of thought process on which one is better, you know, for in terms of time frame. So but yeah, I always want to make sure everyone can make it to the stream, but not every time is that possible, obviously, because people just have life and things such as happy Thursday, Steven says. Is the reprint machine broken? So far, the reprint machine is broken, and I feel broken about it. It's one of those things that's so frustrating because, like, I very much, a large portion of my content is obviously discussing about what reprints are going on in the hobby. And when there are 0 reprints going on in the hobby and 0 things to discuss about it, then it can be really frustrating, and I feel like I want to pull my hair out at times. So I definitely am frustrated about that, to say the least. I got Pokemon Pokeballs from the Pokemon Center today. They were not the same packs that were shown. Yep, no, that's, I mean, if you, Seaman, if you check out the comments for that, that's literally like the reason why on the Pokemon Center website, it's got like a 2-star rating, is people are like, oh, the product packs as shown are not what is given. We still get to watch it after. That's so funny. Do a 24-hour live stream so everyone can make it. A 24-hour live stream. I just record myself sleeping and tell my fiance that I'm going to be sleeping in the office just because people tend to not be able to make it, so it's a 24-hour Pokemon live stream. Or I do a 24-hour Pokemon live stream where I just open as many Pokemon packs as I can. That would be funny. Or would it be funny, or would that just be absolute torturous? I feel like I'd want to die on the inside if I were to do a 24-hour live stream. Like, 24 hours is tough, man. Like, it might sound crazy for some people, but like 2 hours of live streaming and like talking with people sounds kind of difficult enough, you know, even opening Pokemon packs. So like 24 hours, that's like, that sounds so exhausting. Not to mention too, I'd be missing sleep if I'm doing 24 hours. So it would be pure death at that point if I were to do that. Hands would cramp up, bro. Everything would cramp up. It'd be expensive to open that many packs. Well, yeah, obviously it would be something that I would have to break. That's not, you know, that's definitely not a question of would I just be opening packs for myself. No, I'd have to break the packs off because I'd be inherently losing so much money. But yeah. Pika, hey y'all. Well, a live stream during the holidays bonus. Hope everyone is enjoying it this time. Yeah, I know, right? I was thinking about whether I should live stream today or not. And so I'm really just playing it by ear. I mean, if we have enough people that are like, you know, here during the live stream, then I will keep going. But if I notice that like it's kind of dead in the chat, not really many people are here because everyone's on holiday, then I probably will end it short. But hey, as long as you guys are here at the end of the day, like that's all that really matters to me. When do you think the e-rotation will end since the pushback so far? So Chris, they said it was going to be early 2023. And from what we're seeing, it's more than likely going to be the transition of when silver borders happen. And I think that's going to be in February. So that's what I'm going to say. Danny Phantom just posted. What did he post? I don't really, I like follow Danny Phantom on YouTube. Like I'm one of his subscribers, but I don't follow him that actively in regards to like, oh, he posted a new video, time for me to watch it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of me. I will mention though, in terms of Danny Phantom's viewer count, it's recently started to pick up quite a bit. So like shout out to him. His sub count obviously has really slowed down, but there was like a period where I feel like a lot of his videos really started to slow down in the viewer count. Like he was getting maybe 10 to 15,000 was like a best case scenario for a lot of his videos, but you know, he started to really bring it around recently, right? I can't remember what time specifically. I think it was some time within the past like 4 or 5 months ago, but I mean, you had one video that was 9.6K, 6.4K, 15K, 23K, 8.5K. I don't know. And then it's kind of back and forth. Maybe things are a lot better for him than I realized, but there's been definitely I feel like a drop off at one point, and I just have to find that drop off. But yeah, recently his videos seem to be at least somewhat more consistent. Or maybe I have no clue what I'm talking about. But out of control, chilling rains turned into chilling gains. Who do you follow actively? Oh, that's a tough question. Not really anyone, if I'm being honest. I mean, you want a hot take on something that might get me in trouble for saying it, like in terms of actual quality content to discuss. It's really a hard argument for me to say. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I would say that if it comes to someone who I do consistently watch their videos when they come out with it, it is Alpha Investments. I will say that. Rudy from Alpha Investments is someone who I do have discussions about, because not that I believe he's really in touch with the market for Pokemon, because he's obviously a huge Magic guy, and that's not something that like I'm super invested in right now. I will be in the future, but he is someone that when it comes to Pokemon, he does have some insightful opinions here and there that I can take away from it, and some insightful information depending upon his market positions that he's making. Of course, with all that being said, you know, sometimes it's literally just, hey, Pokemon product's cheap, let me buy it. Like, it's not any more complex than that. But it's still interesting to see his general opinion on certain things related to what's going on in Pokemon. But honestly, outside of that, when it comes to information related to Pokemon, it's really tough for me to kind of say that there's one streamer that I feel like I truly get like a ton of in-depth data and information out of what my specific niche in the market is. Like Danny can obviously provide helpful information for like market breakdowns on what's going on with pack pull pricing. Like he does a really good job at that, obviously. And so I'll give him his dues for that. But in terms of like from an investability perspective, that's not obviously what his thing is. So outside of whenever a new set release comes and he has that kind of conversation, or let's say hypothetically he is somehow able to get reprint information before me, which very rarely do I ever see that for most streamers or YouTubers. So that's kind of my main thing in terms of, you know, following him. SM Pratt never posts things anymore. Jake basically with Pokenomics never posts really anything anymore. He does live streams occasionally. And so it's like I don't know if the need is the right word, because in terms of like the demand for it in the hobby is really obviously a question, but there's an opportunity, I feel like, for someone like myself, hopefully, to be able to come in and provide a lack of information in the investing aspect, but you also have to curate that audience because it is one that is extremely tiny. But most recently there has been very little information to kind of discuss with it. But we have a lot of other projects that we're looking at working on, which is going to, of course, envelop into our future plans as a overall YouTube channel and website and so many other things. One of the projects we're working on, I can briefly mention it without giving you any hard dates, but we're in the process of coding a Discord bot, which is going to give you features to pull up general profitability numbers, and within literally just an input of a super easy command, it's going to tell you from an investment perspective what's the best items to pick up now for singles. And so it's something that we're really hard and working on, and that's something that we're going to incorporate eventually into our future YouTube videos that we're going to do for lives. And then also it's going to have daily movements in the market. It's going to tell us what the biggest gainers and losers are in the market. So I really want to make it so that it's a full-on all-encompassing market watch videos that I'm almost having conversations about. It's more than just like, oh, we're having a conversation about reprint news, or oh, we're having a conversation about, you know, the newest set that's coming out, or oh, let's have a conversation about like what's just, you know, a good investment. Oh, like from a broad perspective, it's, hey, let's look at some updates in terms of what we're seeing using our general algorithm to calculate what we see are missed opportunities in the market that people are sleeping on, or what we see is overvalued for its current time. And so just using that kind of tool, I feel like, is something that we could easily create into more content, but it's still something that, of course, is taking time to develop with, you know, our software engineer and continue to move on as a channel. Where am I? I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that kind of answers the question. Who do I follow actively? It's hard. It's definitely hard to say. I don't. Anyone play in the official TCG competition? I was just curious if they inspect all the cards and sleeves closely to prevent cheating. I do not, so I can't answer that question. I did when I was younger, but it was not really like on a national level, so it's hard to say. Sorry, I meant the next rotation that has sets like Evolving Skies, Fusion, etc. Do you think it'll be August, or you think... good clarification, Chris. So I would say that for the next rotation... Oh, you said when you think E. I read that wrong. I'm so sorry, Chris. I should have known. I think that it's entirely possible that they're just going to make it a New Year thing. Just to kind of make it like, this is it, you know? That's kind of what my personal opinion is. How much do you think Rudy is worth? I mean, if we're talking about his general net worth, I would say he's probably in the range of 8 figures, if I were to guess. I mean, the man bought like $4 million worth of Chilling Reign, and he's still sitting on a large amount of his older, inventory that he had from the bathroom. He's sitting on a couple of first ed Pokemon stuff, and this is just Pokemon stuff we're talking about. We're not even talking about like his Magic, which he's sitting on a lot of as well. And Flesh and Blood has not been going well for him, but obviously outside of Flesh and Blood, you've got everything else. And so I would say that he's probably in the range of 8 figures plus. And that's kind of the biggest thing, man, is right now, this might sound weird to say, but I don't think it really is. People in this hobby, I hate to say this because I think it's such a bad mentality of looking at it, but it's just the way in which our culture is right now. People don't look at someone's advice or information unless they have something of asset to back it. And why I think that's bad is because you can have someone that's extremely, extremely wealthy, right? And you might not think that based off the way in which they're showing off themselves. Or you might have someone that's not wealthy at all, but tries and puts on a show as if they're wealthy, and then people will take their information falsely. I mean, the amount of times you hear about on Instagram and social media, people that are content creators, influencers, whatever, that are like, look at my Lamborghini, and they take a bunch of pictures with it, trying to act like they're super wealthy, but they just rented out a Lamborghini for the day to just make it seem like they're wealthier than they are, so that you can take their program course, right? And so you'll have people that also got lucky on their general investments, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, look how wealthy I am because I invested in freaking Dogecoin because I just knew, therefore I'm in touch with the market, you should pay for my program. And that's the sad reality of the situation, is that you hear a lot of people like Gary Vee and these other, hustlers that are trying to sell you on something because they are, quote unquote wealthy themselves, but a lot of the times, they either got lucky or these people were faking it until they made it off of selling you their programs, and that's where they really got wealthy, or selling you their books, right? So that's kind of the biggest problem, I would say, is an issue with my own brand myself, right? Because I'm not sitting around flexing $1 million collection, right? I'm not sitting around talking about how like wealthy the business is, or I'm not at a point right now where I have a warehouse full of millions of dollars worth of product. Now, that's not to say that, of course, that's a diss to anyone in the hobby specifically, because like I said before, I do listen to Rudy in his information because I do think from some of the perspective in which he talks about things, it can be very informative. And obviously he's done well for himself, and he's, when it comes to just general investor mentality, he's pretty good at that. But there's, of course, other individuals that are not the best, I should say, when it comes to that kind of how do I want to say this? Just be cautious is all I can say, I guess. That's all I'll just say. What's up, Aging Crypto? Good to see you are here. Lizius, what's up? Ava just posted something. Yeah, it's funny because I follow Ava as well. I did notice that she posted, I finally got the Charizard UPC and I can't believe this. Which is funny because, I mean, it's funny because you see the transition. I mean, I shouldn't say it's necessarily a transition entirely, but she's definitely making, or at least attempting to make, a form of a transition between her content, if you look at obviously her most recent videos. And so when I saw that one, I was like, she should make a spreadsheet video. But she probably doesn't have time. She's busy a lot. Thanks for being our financial advisor on YouTube, right? Exactly. You heard me, Tyrone. Financial advice. Exactly. Entertaining, but not out of the ordinary. Well, that's exactly my point, Pika. And she's making a business decision, which I don't blame her for, in terms of her content growth. I mean, she's probably going to go the Chloe route. That's like what I honestly think her initial transition is going to be. I mean, if she does decide to do that, of course, she's obviously working right now. I don't know if she's doing an internship or not. I haven't been talking to her most recently. we used to talk quite a bit, but she's been quite busy since then. But anyway, if she does decide to make a transition, I do think it's more than likely going to be a kind of the Pokey Chloe transitional route, where she kind of talks about general sealed product and such, and less to do with investment content. So, but yeah, because I mean, you look at her most recent videos, it's talking about or it's talking about her PSA return, it's talking about Evolving Skies, it's talking about CUPC, and literally, if you just go to Poke Chloe's most recent stuff, last PSA return of the year, I graded my best cards, I pulled this from V-Star Universe, I found insane Pokemon boxes. Like, it's a very similar theme, I would say, to the content that she is posting. So it doesn't surprise me, because I mean, it's a model that works, and I mean, that's just, you play the game. Either you curate your own audience and hope that people follow you for it, or you find out what's already popular now, and then you try and get into that market knowing that there's more people in it, and you have a quicker kind of pace, I guess is the best way to explain it. You know, because it's like, if you're creating your own audience and you're creating your market, it's going to be a lot slower of a growth. But if there's a market already created, you have more upside growth. But at the same time, you know, there is, of course, typically a broader audience for specifically what type of content you're going to be producing. Crown Zenith, regardless of what product, will be a 5 to 10x investment within the 15 years. Looking back on it, seems like yesterday. Yeah, it's interesting why people are sleeping so much on Crown Zenith, but also at the exact same time, when Evolving Skies booster boxes were at $100, I said the exact same thing. So people are always so late to the hobby, man. I feel like when it comes to these investment opportunities, it's kind of funny. Unfortunately for me, I find Poke Chloe boring. Yeah, I've never watched like any of her content, but it doesn't matter because I'm not her general audience, right? I am someone that wants investment videos, and like I just said before, no one really talks about investment videos. Not to mention too, when it comes to investment videos, I know that when it comes to, if I'm being completely honest, right? Like I said before, you have to look at it from the broader spectrum. When it comes to most people, they just want a quick video that tells them exactly what they want to know without the intricacies of how to be independent. And I hate to say it, but that's just the reality of the situation. So when it comes to investment videos, people just want those top 5, top 10, just tell me what to buy, right? They don't want to know how to be independent, right? Which I think is super bad, because for me personally, I would much rather teach you advice on what you can do to inform yourself so you can make these future decisions and be able to, of course, not rely on a YouTuber to tell you what's right. But in terms of content wise, when it comes to other investing videos, it's always the same old, I think this product's a good investment. I think this product's a good investment. And obviously I'll make those videos myself, because as a YouTuber, I still need to create content. But from what I think is more important, I would love to go more of the route of, hey, here's what you need to know in terms of the history of Pokemon, which I discussed quite in depth, and how you can make future predictions based off of, you know, patterns that Pokemon has done in the past, and how you can see that play out in the future. And Crown Zenith is a perfect example of that. Can you explain why CZ is going to be a good investment? I mean, where to start, man? I mean, when it comes to CZ as a good investment, just think about the era as Sword and Shield as a whole. What are the most popular sets and why? Or what's the one that kind of runs away from everyone else? It's Evolving Skies, right? Evolving Skies is an Eevee set that also, of course, has Rayquaza and a couple of other popular characters. So it's the set that is arguably the #1 set. I think most people would agree, you know, before Crown Zenith. Does this set have character rares? No, it doesn't have any character rares. So the fact is, this is a set that has an oversaturation of alternate arts. It doesn't have a character rare set, and yet it still beats out, bar none, not even close, any of the sets with character rares as a subset, right? So what is, of course, Crown Zenith? Crown Zenith is a set entirely compiled of a bunch of alternate arts, both V and V star. So it's taking what most people love about the Sword and Shield era, and it's giving just an absolute crap ton amount of it. And so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Crown Zenith is going to be a set that is going to absolutely crush. And I mean, V Star Universe set list, if we just go and take a look at the set list, I can obviously pull this up on another screen so we can just take a look at it, because I know people are going to want to take a look. But there's just so much in here when it comes to alt arts, and because obviously we're presuming Crown Zenith is going to follow big suit with that. Sure, it does come with a lot of really cool character rares, don't get me wrong, and that of course adds value to it. But when it comes to the alternate art cards, there's so many, I feel like, in this set that are to be desired, right? You've got a really cool Entei, you've got a really cool Suicune, a really cool Raikou, you've got a really cool Deoxys, Darkrai, you've got Zacian Zamazente, Regigigas. But here's where I think it really blows itself out of the water, right? Sure, it's got a bunch of these really cool alt arts, like whatever. It doesn't have a Charizard. It doesn't have, a Rayquaza. Of course, it does have a Leafeon and Glaceon, which is going to add value to it. But it for the most part, it does have a Mewtwo as well. So it does have a lot of strong characters. It doesn't have a Charizard. That's kind of it, because we got the CUBC instead. But the point I'm jumping into with this is that where I think it really blows it out of the water is it's introducing full art. It's introducing alternate art trainer cards. And that's what I think is going to be huge. I think that the fact of the matter is, when you look at the alternate art trainer cards that they're including, of course, one of which being Cynthia, which is, of course, one of everyone's favorite cards, I think it's going to be incredible. I think the Gardenia's card is awesome. I think the Roxanne's card is awesome. There's a lot in the set. I mean, Friends of Sinnoh, Friends of Hisui, it's just the introduction of the alternate art trainer cards, I think, is incredible. I think that's really, really good from a design perspective. And then once again, adding even more to it when it comes to the alternate art gold cards. Oh my gosh. I mean, look at these card designs. They're absolutely gorgeous. So I think that, this set's incredible because it brings so much to the table, right? A lot of people, the biggest complaint was when they introduced character rares was they started to get rid of a lot of the alt arts to fill room for character rares. Well, this set has a lot of character rares and it has a lot of alt arts, so it addresses that issue. On top of that too, it becomes innovative when it comes to increasing the value of alternate arts within trainers, and then of course gold alternate art, so it's really getting that theme. And what's even better with that is there was always a complaint with oversaturation of too many full art regular cards or too many regular rainbow cards that no one really cared about. Well, so far in terms of this set overall, there is yet to be a single full art card or a single rainbow card that's been introduced in the set, which gets rid of that oversaturation problem. So when it comes to like an ideal set and how you fix a lot of the issues with it, this is addressing all the concerns that we've had conversations about on what could really curate a perfect set. And I think that is something that Crown Zenith is, and why I really enjoy it, regardless of your personal opinion, of course, whether you like other sets because it has your favorite character or that. Purely if we're just talking about what makes a good set, I think this is a just perfect example of that. What do you think about Dan's take on Magic 30th? I love him in his content, but I can't defend him bashing Rudy over the 6.9 anniversary, calling him a hypocrite. I think there's a huge difference in a company chilling out for money than a person on YouTube. I think that Rudy is just being... I mean, here's my thing, man. Dan can do whatever he wants, right? I'm not gonna, criticize him. Not to mention, I don't really know Dan that well, so for me, it's hard to really give my personal opinion on his thoughts. I think at the end of the day, Rudy is making content that is getting him views, and he's jumping on top of it. Sure, for the content that he creates, there are videos here and there that are like, all right, I don't agree with your sentiment, Rudy. I think you're being a little hyperbolic here. But for the most part, he's taking the emotions of what a lot of Magic people feel in this moment, and he's using that energy to then of course portray that within a YouTube video, which I think is entirely fine. And he of course agrees with that sentiment, because if you've looked at his most recent video views, they've been extremely high and they've been the most popular in terms of consistent viewership for a very long time. And so that's one of the things, is you can sit here and you can say he's shilling, but at the end of the day, when it comes to what he's doing, it's purely just, he obviously is someone that's big into Magic, and all of his followers are, and what Hasbro is doing is not good. And with that, of course, being said, he's going to talk about it not being good in a hyperbolic way, because he knows that he can just keep doing so and keep getting views because everyone is upset just like him. So it's just a business decision that you got to respect. And if you just want to crap on him for it, then you have to ask what your motive is crapping on him for. And is it because you also are making that exact same business decision because you think you can get clicks by bashing on another individual? You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way in which the game is played. I'd watch you PTCG and Deep Pocket Monster any day. I appreciate that. I want to ship product in the US. Which do you prefer, UPS or USPS? May I ask what companies you use? I use UPS and USPS. I mean, it really comes down to what is cheaper when it comes to small. So USPS is typically going off of box dimensions and UPS is going off of weights. So if you're going for product that tends to be lighter, and by lighter I mean like less than 15 pounds, usually I would say USPS is the best, unless it's like a massive dimension, but most of the time it doesn't really matter. If it's under 15 pounds, I go USPS, but once it gets over 15 pounds, then UPS is by far the cheapest if you're shipping ground, of course, and then priority for USPS. I'm gonna wait a bit for CZ and pick up V-Star Universe. I mean, go for it, man. It's about trust between Hasbro and customers is broken with Magic 30. No, I agree. Don't know why, but I'm really into Chilling Reign because it's a great set. I mean, that's why. You're right on the content, and most of people wanting to be spooned for the decisions versus being independent. It's like people buying mutual funds via advisor versus self-directed stock investment. Yep, everyone. We live in a society where people are not like, do you want to really, like, if you want me to get a little political here, without being too political, we live in a society where we have a lack of independence, where people want the government to figure everything out for them. They want experts and advisors to figure everything out for them, when in reality a lot of these experts and advisors just have a piece of paper that said that they went and got a degree for something. And of course there is credibility to that, but just because you have that degree doesn't mean that you know what you're talking about 100% of the time. And that's my biggest problem, I would say, with society, whether it be doctors, lawyers, therapists, you know, politicians, anything in that regard. People are like, oh, well, he knows what's best because he went to college and he has a degree for this, or oh, he knows what's best because he's super wealthy and therefore that obviously means that he made really good financial business decisions. Like, it's so bad in the way in which people in today's society want to take away the critical thinking aspect of it all and just put blind faith in people to just kind of sit back without having to think about it. Because it's, and this might sound kind of crazy for me to say, it's almost like being in the Matrix in that regard, where they're just going with everything without having to think about it. And that's kind of the sad reality of the situation in which we live. We live in an instant gratification world where people want things now, and they don't want to have to wait. And they also want now to be decision making that they don't have to do for themselves, and people are willing to pay for it. There's a reason why Pokemon prices for Evolving Skies continue to raise, and people are paying those prices because of that instant gratification of it all. And it's just kind of a sad reality of the way in which our society has ultimately cultivated itself, but and that's just it. And so that's just kind of my personal opinion. If you really want to get deep with it. Ben F says, hello, at Pokemon TCG sent me. Well, what's up, Ben? Good to see you. It has 2 Zards, LOL. Koga, are you talking about V-Star Universe? Because I was talking about Crown Zenith. Obviously, this set has 2 Zards. Why buy Crown Zenith now for MSRP? We can pay too much for it after everyone foams in a month. Jokes aside, yeah, right? I mean, to be fair, Craig, you can get it below MSRP, but if you couldn't, I mean, that's a funny point to make, since you are joking. CZ will definitely be a home run. Oh, yeah, big time. CZ is doing too much for me? What do you mean it's doing too much for you? I think I would argue that it's doing just the right amount. It would be doing too much for me if it also included full art and rainbows, but it got into it. Did I miss anything? Just joining. You missed everything, Skylar. What the heck? What the heck, Skylar? Do you even know who I am? Do you think I'm in danger? No, I'm just kidding. It goes into a Breaking Bad monologue. But do we see the set list for ZZ? What if those desired cards don't make it into the set? I mean, it's obvious that a lot of these cards are being turned into promo cards like the Galarian birds. Like we know that for certain, but I'm going to presume that the majority of these, of course, are going to be thrown in. There might be like like obviously we had an Evolution Premium Collection, so it's entirely possible they do release something like that. But think about it right now, guys. We've got a CUPC, which has the promo Charizards, and then we obviously as well have the Gallartins. So we know for a fact that those are both items that have removed some of the character rares and alt arts and thrown them in products. So it's entirely possible you could see some more of that too. But as it stands right now, this is kind of what we're assuming is going to be thrown in one way or another. That is right, sir. Introspect. Thanks, Big Papa. Plebisaurus Rex, what's up, my guy? Good to see you as always. Mike Jones says, I work for UPS. Make you insulate your item shipped. I work for UPS. Make you insulate your item. Make sure you insulate your item shipped. Okay, good. Hey, good to know. Poland Zards. My name is Poland Zards. I'm addicted to Pokemon. Is this the Pokemon Addiction Support Group? It's the Pokemon Addiction Support line, brother, where I sit here and I walk through your addiction and what we can do to help you and what fits you appropriately. Eli Bro speaks truth. What does that say? Society. I see what you did there, Tyrone. I'm out of the loop in CZ and V-Star universe. The same thing. I mean, of course, they're always different. Japan versus English. It's always going to be different. But when it comes to the sets themselves and a lot of the cards, of course, in V-Star Universe are going to be in Crown Zenith, but it's just the Japanese versus English variation. So, but immediately when Tyrone said that, I thought of the Joker from The Dark Knight. Oh, that's kind of funny. But also, if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. One other thing I wanted to make known, if you aren't a part of the Discord as well, I make this notification in there. We are going to be on Friday having a break. It's going to, of course, be a break for... what's the main pack? Astral Radiance and Silver Tempest. If I can add some more packs, I will. But what I'm going to start doing consistently is make the last Friday of the month be break day for non-new sets. So like if it is a new set, then obviously whenever the release day for that is, that's when the break day is going to be. But for not new sets, right? I want to start getting into the habit of doing just more consistent breaks, right? And that's something that we're going to start off as a monthly thing, but then potentially transition into that being a weekly thing, and then eventually, or a bi-weekly, and then eventually a weekly if possible. But we are sold out of Silver Tempest for now. We still have a little bit of Astral breaks left for Friday, and then Lost Origin as well. We're going to be including that in the next break if we don't get the Lost Origin packs in time. And we're also going to be adding some more Silver Tempest. So yeah, no, I'm really excited to kind of talk about that, because I want to get really consistent with doing breaks at a lot affordable prices as possible. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to try and shoot my best to make sure that I can get break prices for you guys anywhere between if we're going off of booster boxes amount, anywhere between the 80 to like $90-ish range. That's kind of what the thought process behind it is. Also, I've had a lot of people ask me questions about a Crown Zenith break. That is something I am still currently looking into, but fear not, we should more than likely be putting out some Crown Zenith packs soon. I just have yet to get my allocations from my new distributor about it. When would be a good time to start buying singles for V-Star Universe? Now or wait a month? I mean, for V-Star Universe, I wish I could tell you that answer, but I am not in touch enough in the current V-Star Universe market to really give you an educated answer there. Do you think we'll ever have another Team Rocket set? I definitely hope so, Steven, because it's one of my favorite sets. How are your online sales versus in-store sales over the holiday? Curious if e-commerce is making brick and mortar more obsolete for TCG. Well, so Pika, my thing is with the store itself, E4 Cards and more, if you want to check us out, they don't have online sales for anything outside of singles. And the whole idea for that is because we want to make sure that we're able to maximize our profitability with sealed product, and shipping fees is going to crush that, especially too when you're an LGS that has to pay employees and your premiums are going to be a lot higher. And so you're on one, more competitive market online, and then two, you're obviously having to ship. So the card store itself does not ship sealed product whatsoever. It's only through pickup in store. So everything online is singles, and that is all also run through our POS binder system, which is integrated with TCG Player. So in terms of answering your question, how things were for the holidays, though, there was a how do I want to say this, a boost in certain types of clientele of individuals, the type that are like, my kids like Pokemon cards, or my grandkids like Pokemon cards, can I buy some from you guys? Like, that was kind of the increase in clientele, which is kind of cute. But but other than that, I mean, there wasn't really a massive shift in things. The only thing I would say is that when it came to people asking questions about, you know, us starting our Pokemon League, they were always like, yo, so your Pokemon League, why aren't you starting it now? And then we're like, because people are going to be out of town for the holidays. And they're like, oh, well, I'd love to join. And then they're like, awesome, will you be here for the holidays? And they're like, no. And we're like, exactly why we're waiting till after the holidays to start the league. So it's like so funny how people are like wanting us to start it, but they're not even going to be here for the first week. It's like, all right, well, that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to wait for. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, in terms of sealed product sales online, that's obviously always going to be done through Pokemart USA, which for now, the majority, obviously, if you guys have been, watching my site, I haven't listed sealed product in forever, and that's because, one, there's not any booster boxes to list because there's nothing available. And then two, right now I'm really focusing on the wholesale access list, and that's something that for me is, I've mentioned before, it's very much a long-term play and allowing me to increase allocations in the future so that I can, of course, offer product to you guys as affordably as possible, and try and get consistent products so that we can have breaks on more than just opening week, you know? Because I sell out of every single one of my opening week breaks. It's not something that it's like, oh, I only like throw in like 100 packs or 50 packs. Like, no, I open almost half 1,000 packs. And what I would love to do, this might sound crazy, but what I would love to do is for booster box sets, make it like a 2-day thing where it's like, all right, so for day 1, I'm going to be opening 1,000 packs. And for day 2, I'm going to be opening another 1,000 packs for like just new set releases. And the packs that I'm going to be, of course, selling the break packs for, they're going to be at like, gosh, what's 90 divided by 36? Like, I'm talking $2.50 a pack, $2.40 a pack, $2.45 a pack. Like, cheaper than you're going to be able to find it anywhere, obviously, if you're trying to just, buy a booster box sealed itself, which, of course, that comes with the fact that we're keeping the bulk, but for most people that's a trade-off that they're willing to make if they're not having to worry about paying a higher price for everything else. But yeah, just a lot of things we're working on to try and, of course, increase the quality of content product for you guys. So anything you do that like contributes, whether it be you know, joining the Patreon, buying product from us, sending us donations, any of that kind of stuff really does help out a lot. And I greatly appreciate it because all of it is being thrown back into the business to help it grow and offer a lot of amazing content in the future for you guys. Down for some Lost Origin, especially at that price. Yeah, I know. I know. I've had a lot of people be like, Leo, Lost Origin? When are you adding that on? People love Lost Origin, man. Kind of a random question, but would we open an individual investing in your store? Kind of random question, but would you be open to individuals investing in your store? No, I would not, Chris. And the only reason why I say that is because I started my store with business partners to begin with. So in terms of investing in my store, those are my business partners, and that's kind of the investing of it all. Everyone has their own individual shares of equity with that, so that's kind of the reason why. And we're all, most of us are all clamoring to try and get everyone else's equity, because everyone is like, I want my equity, I want more equity because I think this is going to do well, which so far the store's been doing well. Yeah. What do you think about a good price for Japanese alt-art Rayquaza PSA 10? I saw it recently bid for way cheaper than usual. Was wondering what you'd buy it for going forward. I mean, Tyrone, I will say this once again. When it comes to Japanese product, I'm not an expert on it. But even when it comes to, of course, pricing for English product, I obviously am not someone that knows all the price off the top of my head for every individual item. I know the majority of them based off of what I see quite frequently, but I don't know it down to the exact decimal of what it is. And when it comes to, of course, now knowing the difference between the raw price versus the PSA price, I do the same exact thing. I go to Polkadata's website, I look up the most recent sale, and then I see, do I think that sale is overinflated? Do I think it's going to keep going up? And then take into the factors of, as I've always preached about the channel, is this in rotation? Is this not in rotation? Is this an overinflated period in the market? Is it not? Is this an item that had a recent sale that was higher or lower than usual? And I just take all those things into consideration when it comes to choosing it. So a lot of the stuff that, in terms of, you know, asking a question like that, just literally go to Polkadata, click on, of course, the Japanese set that has the Rayquaza in it, and then just look up the recent prices and then say to yourself, if there's a consistent theme or trend of what the price is for it, do I think, of course, that's a consistent price that's going to keep going up from here based off of printing, or do I think it's going to go down? Because Japanese is, of course, a completely different market, you know? When would you estimate booster box reprints coming? February at this point. I mean, I'd be stunned if we didn't get any sort of booster box reprints in February, or at least some news by February with a new set on the loom and the transition to silver borders, and then, of course, rotation for D being completely gone in the first half Sword and Shield era. That's just what makes the most sense. Will prices change when MSRP goes up with Scarlet and Violet? I'm really confused by that question, Antonio. Will price change when MSRP goes up with Scarlet and Violet? Well, MSRP going up is a price change. So are you saying for like myself when it comes to like the pack prices that I'm offering? Or I'm really confused by that question. Funny thought, a PTCG investment fund where investors pool money at the fund manager picks the best products to invest in. I've thought about that, Pika Pika. There's just so many liability issues with it that really scares the crap out of me. That's kind of where I am with that. It'd be cool. It'd be a cool idea, like if I offered like public shares in terms of general value for for like an investment portfolio, but that is a lot of liability. and I need to be an LLC for that. Oh my goodness gracious. So and yeah, there's just some things for that. For pack breaks, I kind of figured that's what you meant. I have no clue. I mean, when it comes to the reality of it all, Antonio, my pack breaks are the cheapest I can offer it. So if it is a new set, right? Like let's say hypothetically, because right now for most distributors, the booster box pack price is around 86 bucks for a booster box, right? You do the math, 86 divided by 36, that's 3. Stop it! Stop it! It's 2.38 if you can't see that. Sorry, my calculator's acting dumb, right? So let's say hypothetically they raise the price to 90. That obviously gets the price down to $2.50. So if that's kind of where we are, then obviously that's what I have to charge. And I hate to say that, but that's just kind of the reality of the situation. Unless, of course, I feel like it's worth it for me to charge less. And I would say, typically speaking, if there is a lack of demand for a certain break, I will adjust the pricing. But for the most part, my breaks sell out extremely fast because I offer the best pricing of any break on the internet, to my knowledge. Because I'm basically selling it to you for like slightly above wholesale most of the time. And that's kind of the reality of the situation. So when the new set release, of course, comes out for Scarlet and Violet base set, my goal is going to be a 2,000 pack break. It's gonna be a weekend break. It's gonna be Friday 1,000 packs and then Saturday 1,000 packs. And I'm going to hate myself, but I'm going to do it because welcome to the new Pokemon USA model of content. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day too, I am also going to do my best to try and integrate plans or projects that I can have for people that will allow them to save when it comes to purchasing from me. So one of the projects that we're going to be working on, I won't talk about it now, but because there's a lot of things that I don't want to disclose yet, but we've got a lot of projects and plans in the future for more ways for you guys to save money. I know with inflation being a thing, of course, everyone's clamoring to save money, so we're trying to get creative for everyone. Travis Niles dude. Travis, where the heck have you been, man? I've been missing you. I was talking about you on the last stream about how it's been a while since I've heard from you, so I'm glad to see you're back, man. Have you seen Pokemon cards recently that are missing in the glossy part and are a bit more rough for the touch? Yes, I have. I have. I noticed that specifically from Lost Origin. Man, the printing on that was terrible. Oh, I understand. Thank you for keeping pack prices low. Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said before, my whole business model is this. What can I do to help the Pokemon community and offer the best prices possible? What can I do to help the Pokemon community by offering the best products possible? And by products, I mean whether it be Patreon tiers, whether it be break pack purchasing, whether it be Discord bots that offer insightful data for people that are interested in that kind of thing, whether it be content that offers insightful information. It doesn't matter. My whole model is I am a huge fan of Pokemon. I'm passionate about Pokemon. I'm passionate about the people in this community that also care about Pokemon, and what can I do to help the community? And it's just plain and simple. So if you ever ask the question of why I price it a way that I do, is because either one, it's the cheapest that I can offer for a lot of things, or if it's a higher demand item, then obviously it's the cheapest that I see in terms of what the market is offering it for. And that's usually because at the end of the day, I still need to make money as a business to survive so that I can continue to reinvest in it and then offer more amazing things in terms of projects to you. I know I've been gone for a while. Everyone calm down, but yet assured I am back. Thanks, Eli. Glad to know I was missed. Oh yeah, buddy. Every single live stream, I always would be like, yo, where's Travis? Yo, where's Travis? I'm not even kidding you. Like the last live stream, I was like saying, man, we've got some people that are missing and we haven't seen Travis in a while. I know how it is. I'm glad to see you're back though. You were definitely missed, that's for sure. When do you have to decide if you're moving back to Oregon? Well, I don't have to decide at all if I'm moving back to Oregon. It really came down to a business conversation that I had with my partner, because my partner wants me to move back and obviously be a part of the project more closely. But for me, it's a matter of money. Because I know, if I'm being completely honest, what my time is worth and the value of it. And so for me, if I'm going to do something like that, then I'm going to have to be compensated for it. And it was just one of those things where at this very moment in time, it was not something that could be compensated for because my valuation is unrealistic for what the business can offer at this moment in time. And that's just kind of how it is. If something changes, then great, I'll obviously move down and be more like in touch with the business. But as far as it goes right now, E4 is the second business that I own. That, of course, is a sister company of Pokémon USA. However, they are still technically, you know, two separate entities as a whole when you really break it down. And for that reason, Pokémon USA is still my baby that I've, you know, focused on predominantly, and I really care about putting in a lot of my time and energy into that, using the resources that I have then acquired from starting the LGS with E4. Excited for the break. I think I got like 30 packs. Oh, hey, shout out to you for that one. Once again, break is going to be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday. How many times do you say "of course" during your intros? I mean, I don't know, man. It's an intro. I say it as many times as I consistently say it. Let's see. What is I recently changed my intro, so I say in today's video we are going to be discussing blah blah blah. But of course, before we jump right into it, if you haven't already done so, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I think, I don't know, maybe like a couple of times, like maybe 2 or 3 at most. But are you gonna eat 10 chicken nuggets in between every pack? God no. God no. Scarlet and Violet base set, not a fun set though. Why? Well, I mean, I don't know, Kenny. We don't even know what's in the set, so I think that's premature. We have absolutely no idea what's in it. Good to catch the stream again. Good to see you as always, Jason K. Always good to see one of the regulars. Speaking of one of the regulars, what the heck, John Doe? Where you at, bro? The Chilling Rain stand. Tyrone is the Chilling Rain stand. He is the Chilling Rain stand as well. Am I an A on Niles? Seriously, bro. Average player, good to see you as always as well. Another one of the regulars. Jojo Eli stopping by to say hi. Hope the holidays were nice. They were not too shabby. Hope everyone had amazing holidays as well as we get ready for the new year. After joining our Wholesale Patreon, how soon can we expect to receive items? EX before release, after release, or on the release date? So Chris, if you're talking about specifically purchasing pre-sale items, you will receive it as soon as I receive it and then ship it to you. That's plain and simple. And that's kind of how it is for my break packs, right? So for what I've discussed with my distributors, typically speaking, I will receive the packs. Well, and the break's a little bit different, to be fair, right? Because the breaks are on Fridays, and I typically receive the product on Wednesday. And usually, depending upon how much you're purchasing, it's about a 2 to 5 day shipping range. So if hypothetically speaking, right, let's say the set release is on Friday, you can, depending upon where you live, expect to receive the product the day of the set release or a couple days after the set release. For, of course, if you're talking about purchasing in a new set. Obviously, if it's a break, then it's going to be more than likely by end of next week because the break, you know, is shipped out the next day after Friday on Saturday. So yeah, no, I do whatever I can to get the product to you as quickly as possible. Now, if you're talking about outside of new set releases, just general product in general, after you put in an order with us, I call up my distributor and make sure that you've got the product. We confirm the purchase. They tend to ship it out the same day or the next day. Typically, it's about 2 day shipping, sometimes 3. And then from there, I ship it to you. So that's what I would say. Just add on 2 days to that in the time in which it takes to ship to either our store or me in Arizona, because we've got 2 shipping locations. Do you think cards been like that? Is there a reason why prints are taking longer? They're probably trying to fix printing issues. No, they're just transitioning over their printers, and they're printing to, of course, silver borders. Knowing Pokemon, that's kind of what my expectation is. We will get a large print at some point, though. Wrath, good to see you, Wrath. Hey, once again, another regular. Regulars are coming in now. We aren't here for the money. Well, I appreciate that info for now. We know what's in some of the Sword and Shield. PCG made a video about it. Yeah, well, I'm talking about, like, we don't know if there's going to be alternate arts. We don't know if there's going to be character rares. We don't know really much in terms of, like, sure, we can sit here and say, oh, well, have you seen the new EX cards or the Crystal Arcanine? Like, yeah, we've seen that, but that's been info that's been around for a while. So I guess, Oh, we know what's in some of Sword and Shield. PCG made, Sword and Shield dirt. My bad, I read that wrong. Well, now I'm the idiot. Well, you were never an idiot. Holy crap, I am saying things that could come off as offensive. I apologize. Wow, I'm gonna back up. I'm just gonna apologize and say I read that wrong and I don't mean to come off as offensive. So, going back to it, we know some of the things in the Sword and Shield video made today. Holy crap, I don't know why I read Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, we're just gonna move on. So what do we know? What do we know is in the set? Happy New Year, Trainer Mason. Good to see you here. I think Japanese set list drops when Crown Zenith drops here. Probably. Hi, everyone. Long-time lurker, first time in the chat. First time, just want to say thanks, Eli, for all the knowledge and all the vids. I appreciate you very much. And I appreciate you, too, for saying that. Secondly, I just want to let everyone know that you can master set emerging powers for 150 bucks. Do you want with that information? Lizzie says, tried to reach you on Discord, sent you a private message regarding the Patreon. What is your Discord message, Lysias? I would love to answer your question if you sent that to me now. Is your name under as Lysias? Too late, bro. Writing the Twitter log as we speak. Yeah, right. I know, right? I said something that I was making a joke about, and then I realized it could come off as offensive, and then I realized that also what I was saying was completely inaccurate. And so not only was I saying something inaccurate, but I was also saying something inaccurate that could be perceived as offensive, which I, of course, never want to offend someone. And so I was like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm not on Twitter yet, because Twitter doesn't exist in my mind. I have a Twitter, and I'm like telling myself I'm going to start actively posting on Twitter, but Twitter scares me, man. People on there are so toxic. But Lysias, if you want to ping me again, if I'm correct, I think I see your message now. You said you live in Norway, if that's correct. I am more than happy to, of course, discuss that with you. I'm so sorry. When did you send it? On the 23rd? Okay, so that makes sense why I probably didn't see the message. I had family flying in town that week, and I was extremely busy, and I was really bad about getting to people with messages. So I will message you back on that. I do profusely apologize, because with the wholesale tier, with the way in which we kind of structure it, when it comes to product, if you, of course, are located in the UK, we have two options for you, or UK, gosh dang it, in Europe, oh my gosh, or outside the US. We do have two separate plans for you. If you want to consistently order a large amount of product, then obviously we have shipping partners that we can send to you at a, quote unquote discounted rate is typically what we try and do when it comes to the shipment process. But outside of that, when it comes to, if you don't order a consistent large amount of product and you want to save on shipping, then we do offer a kind of storage unit tier that allows you to keep product at our warehouse until it's big enough of an order to where it makes the most logistical sense to, of course, ship to you. So we have two separate options available, or if you don't even want it to ship to you until it's like a certain point of sales, then that's another thing, of course, we can do for you. But yeah, we have a ton of different plans for people outside the US, because we don't want, of course, to just try and selectively only include people that live in the US just because of financial reasons. We try and get creative with it. When do you usually refresh your packs for your monthly live breaks? Whenever I get stock for it. So right now I have a bunch of Lost Origin packs and Silver Tempest packs coming in. And so I'm actually going to drop the price of Silver Tempest packs to $2.50. So yes, the price will be going down for that. Lost Origin packs, I think, might stay the same. They might go down up to $2.55. I am not 100% certain yet, once I've kind of done the finite details of that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to whenever it's in stock. then I'm able to, of course, give it to you. And I just don't know if my package is going to arrive by tomorrow for me to add the stock, since, of course, we are doing the break tomorrow. Do you see yourself potentially offering Japanese booster boxes on your site in the future? Love to get some V-Star Universe cheap in a few months. In the future, yes. In the next few months, definitely not. I mean, my thing is, man, anything I can do to offer you guys, I'm here to offer it. So if there's ever something, hey man, I wish you could do this to help the community, or hey man, this is a really good community idea, I think some people would appreciate. Love to do something like that. But obviously, as it stands right now, you know, that's unrealistic for us unless we were to realistically get a Japanese distributor, which is extremely tough. My payment of my order is the cost of product and fees and shipping to you and me, correct? Yeah, so the Patreon plan for Wholesale is very simple. It's very much this. It's however much the wholesale price is what you pay. Each wholesale distributor, of course, has a different way in which they charge you. Some people charge shipping. Some people offer free shipping over a certain amount. Some people charge handling. Some people don't. Some people charge credit card fees. Some people don't. There's all different ways in which distributors handle it. So I have it laid out on, I have a video. And if you're part of the Discord, you can go watch the video. It's public to anyone to watch if you are, of course, clicking on the private link in the Discord. But typically how it works is you literally say, hey, I want to order product from X distributor, and then you're charged whatever I am charged from that distributor. And then, of course, with that, I then ship it to you and then charge you whatever it costs to ship you. Simple as that. And like I said before, the only difference between what you're paying versus what I typically pay is just you're having to pay the shipping price for me to ship it to you, because I can't directly ship it from distro to you. It's a breach of contract, and I just can't legally do that, right? So that's the only additional fee for the wholesale tier. If that's something, of course, you're interested in, then awesome. And if you're someone that says, hey, well, I want to combine shipping because, let's say, for example, right, you only realistically order a couple $100 worth of product each month, and you're like, well, I know that I could save money if you were to combine the shipping and ship it to you all at once. Well, we also can hold the product for you until it's ready to ship. We have absolutely no problem with that. Of course, there are certain distributors that allow us to do that, because there's certain shipping locations that are easier for me to do that. So like, for example, at the game store, it might not be as manageable versus if I were to have you shipped to our warehouse location in Arizona, since I of course manage that more closely. But yeah, in terms of the general structure, I mean, you're literally paying wholesale, like, and exactly what I'm paying for it, you know, of course, plus the additional shipping to you. Honestly, it's better and that way. I'm on a bird app daily and I hate it. I don't know why I do it to myself. It's so funny. Yeah, it's depressing, man. TT's here. Good to see TT here. I have no idea what... Oh, actually, I do know average players speaking a different language. Excited for my first order with ya. Excited as well, Raph. Eli, my guy, you still playing volleyball? Not at this moment, sadly. So if you remember, I had a groin injury, and with that, my groin injury it's still not at 100%. My biggest thing right now I need to do is go to the gym, because since I've been stopped playing volleyball, your boy's gained about 40 pounds. So I need to get active again. And I think at this point, it's just a lingering feeling. Like my strength has started to come back, which is nice, but the lingering pain of my groin injury is definitely something that I feel like could be strengthened if I were to go to the gym and do certain exercises. So I got to do that, and I'm hoping to do that within the next couple of weeks and then get back to playing volleyball again. People are chatting, can you please type English? Yeah, what's going on here, average player? Are there limits to that? Can I order over 5 to 10K wholesale sorted? Oh, brother. Oh, you can order. So here's how it works, Big Papa. You can order as much as I can get you. So I called up my distributor and said, yo, if someone placed an order for 200 booster boxes, could we get that? And they're like, yeah, we can get that. Because here's the deal. My distributor is specifically, if you go and look at the chart, and I can even pull up the allocations chart for you, because this is obviously private information to the wholesale tier, but just to make it visibly easier. So we have different distributors. We have distributor 1, distributor 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And this is all ranked by priority of which one we like the most and which one we like the least, right? So with distributor 1, I am creating a relationship with them, and specifically my sales rep, to where we have a mutual understanding. I will spend the majority of my product with you guys if you guys can offer me the most allocations and then give me discount pricing on product. And we're in that mutual understanding. I talk to my sales rep and say, what would you like me to spend on a monthly basis? He has said, I said to get like realistic allocations and booster box price drops so that when inflation comes around, we don't get hit with inflated prices and they actually keep it the same for us. He said that the goal would be around $20,000. We have currently spent $18,000 in the first 2 weeks of getting distributor 1. So we are going to surpass that greatly, which is awesome. And so when I asked him, hey, how much, if I were to hypothetically put in an order for 200 Crown Zenith booster boxes, could I get it? And he said, yeah. And to be quite frank with you, of course, could I put in an order for more and potentially get more? Yes, of course. But there's no guaranteed how much I'm going to get. So hypothetically speaking, let's say I have combined all the people in the wholesale tier that everyone, a grand total 500 booster boxes are going to be ordered, right? And I only get 300 of them. How I offer it out is the exact way that Distro works. Distro prioritizes people that spend more with them. When it comes to wholesale and allocations, I also prioritize people that spend more. I don't want it to people to think that it's like a, oh, well, you're just favoring, people that have more money, blah, blah, blah. That's elitist. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact of this is how my distributor runs things. Therefore, I have to run it the same way. Because at the end of the day, if you're someone that just joins the Patreon and only wants a case of Evolving Skies booster boxes and purchases nothing else, and then when Evolving Skies reprint happens and I get limited a certain amount, you're not going to get that case's worth. You might get a booster box or two if it fills into the allocation, because I'm, 95% of the time at least going to fill a partial amount of your allocations. But if you're only joining to get high demand items, or you're only joining and spending money on Evolving Skies or on Crown Zenith or on Brilliant Star, then you're not going to more than likely get the full max out of it. Now, if you're someone that's like, yo, I want new ETBs when a set release comes out, I want new booster boxes when a set release comes out, regardless of whether it's a high demand set or not, or hey, can I get some sleeve packs, or I have daily deals that my distributors are constantly offering. Like one of the daily deals we got right now is buy a Charizard Ultra Premium Collection for $75, and you get and you also get a Pokemon Go tin for free. So the value of that is insane, right? Or some other deals we've got going on right now, because booster box supply is extremely low, we're selling packs for $2.35 flat, and then whatever it costs to ship to you. So that's for Silver Tempest and of course Lost Origin. So I implore you to go find a place that is currently selling $2.35 a pack for Silver Tempest or Lost Origin. So like we've got consistent deals for you to get product outside of just the new hyper high demand sets. And so that's kind of the expectation for you to help increase your spending. We've got like a couple of individuals in particular, right, that have spent like over $5,000 to $10,000 with us. You bet your sweet bottom that of course we're going to prioritize giving them as much as they can, as much as we can, but at the exact same time also still offering some to others. Oops, sorry about that, guys. I was getting a phone call. But still offering that to others. And that's kind of the way in which we are structuring the wholesale. We want to give everyone an opportunity to grow their of course allocation amount, but also at the same exact time there is a priority that we are passing down on, because that's just what distro is doing with us. And the whole point of the wholesale tier to begin with as well is this is a tier for those people that want to buy Pokemon product for their collection cheap, or their investments cheap, or they want to of course buy the product from us and then create their own bulk business, or they want to of course create their own resale business. I don't care. The whole idea of it all is we're working together to increase general allocation amount from our distributor, and of course lower general wholesale pricing, because we can do that with volume pricing, and just make an environment that gives everyone an opportunity who's a part of it. That's the whole idea of the wholesale tier to begin with. So that's kind of the whole purpose of it all. Those chicken nuggets weren't definitely happening. All right, there's so many things. Do you want me to send payment via PayPal? Or message me one more time, Wrath, and then I can answer that question for you. Just message me in the Discord so I can go through your order with you one last time. Once we kill in the wholesale tier, we'll be able to see what items are available for pre-order, like future sets, and by when we need to order them. So Chris, since obviously we're still like, we literally just of course started the wholesale tier. When it comes to pre-order items, I mean, if you look right now, we do have some items that are available for pre-order. I do have to remove some of these because as of literally last night, distro changed it. I think the special Pikachu is the only one of the Crown Zenith that is available. Of course, you know, Mimikyu and World Champions decks are available for pre-order. But like hypothetically speaking, right? When I get told from my distributor, hey, Scarlet and Violet pre-sales are available, put in your orders now, then what I do is I send a message in the wholesale Discord chat and say, hey guys, I just updated pre-sales for Scarlet and Violet base set, go put in your numbers now, and then I give them the deadline in which they have to do it by, and then I give that number as a whole to my distributor. So yeah, in the future, of course. When is Pokemon Japan coming so I can ask about the market? Great question. And my brother is actually taking an internship that he was offered to in Japan in October, and that's something I've discussed with him. Gosh, I'm sorry, my guy. I forgot about the groin thing. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's definitely been affecting me quite a bit, but you know, I'm keeping myself busy with business. What Discord tab is the link to the video? It's in the announcements tab. So if you go in to the announcements tab, it's literally the most recent video that I posted. It said a little bit of housekeeping, and then it shows a link to the video which says introduction to the wholesale tier list. Okay, yeah, so Zapdos, I will of course be putting in that order for you after the stream. I'll call my rep after, and then I'll put in the order. But my question for you is, I guess I should first ask, we can discuss this after the stream. We don't need to discuss this on stream. I have some other questions for you though. But yeah, just go to the Discord, click on announcements, and then you will see the video link with the title. Again, too late to the live. Hey, well, you made it, and we still got about 30-40 minutes. I said I'd cut it short if we were, of course, not having a ton of people because of the holidays, and we're doing good so far, so let's keep it rolling. I'm about to spend around 150 in a few seconds in your store. Is there a discount code I can get for now? Yeah, so there is a discount code for 5% here. I mean, if you literally go, it obviously won't recognize me, but if I go incognito tab, I was like, how do I do incognito tab? 5% off your, oh, well, I didn't need to go incognito tab for that. 5% off your first order with Pokemon USA 5. So that is the coupon code. But good to see ya, as always, see ya Games. He must be really good distributor to have Crown Zenith booster boxes. No, we don't have Crown Zenith booster boxes. I meant ETBs. Did I say crude? My bad. You have track records of all your Patreons. What do you mean by that, Kenny? Like, how many Patreons do I have currently? So as it stands right now, for the wholesale tier, I can actually pull that up. I'm not gonna pull it up for you guys to see, but because there's some private information there. But if I go and check under patrons, I can see, so for the wholesale access tier, our limit is 50 people total, because I'm presuming that's the only amount I'm going to handle all by myself. But in terms of how many people are a part of it right now, currently we have 20 patrons that are a part of it. So, and then once we hit the 50 mark, we'll obviously reevaluate from there and then kind of see if we can add more to it, or if that's something, of course, that's scalable. But as it stands right now, we've got 20 and it's been working out great so far. So if you want to get in, of course, before it does fill up, because you bet your sweet bottom when an Evolving Skies reprint happens, it's going to sell out extremely fast, because there's a lot of people that are literally joining right now, getting up their allocation numbers so that when the reprint does happen, they're going to be getting booster boxes of Evolving Skies for $86 and then reselling it for $300. So it's like, I'm not trying to make people FOMO, but I am saying that I did a terrible job at marketing it, because I marketed it on Black Friday when everything was on a massive discount. And so it's not as popular as it should be for what value you're getting out of it. But also it only works for people that, of course, are spending a certain amount of money. If you're at least buying a case of booster boxes a month, then it's obviously worth it for you. Or if you're at least buying a case of ETBs, or at least buying, you know, a couple of high demand products enough to where you're spending $200 to $500. And if you spend more than that, then it's an insane value. That's actually Filer Brother, and I'm going to get plugged in with you soon. I've been looking for a foot in the door, if you will. Yeah, of course, man. I mean, grow your business is definitely the way it is. Grow our businesses, Wrath says. No, exactly. I mean, Wrath is a perfect example of that. Him and I go back and forth having conversations about what product we can get for him that suits his business the best for what he does, because that's what he does. Oh, well, you're just favoring, you know, people that have more money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right, Tyrone. Hey, Poke Collector Jay, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Hopefully all is well. What about FedEx? Never had a problem with them on shipping from US, USPS, and UPS keeps have my stuff from eBay. Well, it's interesting you say that, Liz. Yes, I've never looked into it because I've always just gone with UPS and USPS, and it's always been good to me. In terms of FedEx, I've never gone with them because I had a buddy of mine that worked for FedEx, and he said, do not ship with FedEx because they take terrible crap, or keep terrible... they treat your product like crap. That's what I was trying to say before I started stroking out. But yeah. Gotta run. Thanks for your time and effort of the great stream. No problem, Pika. Been fiending to open some Unbroken Bonds. You have any stashed away? I don't think so. Not that I have personally stashed away to my knowledge. Sadly. But Unbroken Bonds is definitely a fun one. I'm trying to think. Do I have any? No, there's no way I have an Unbroken Bonds packs. Yeah, most of the Unbroken Bonds packs that I do have go into the mystery packs. Stroking out rather. Don't know why that one got put on hold, but oh, that's so funny, man. I have an art set, not a lot of UB. Yeah, I used to have an art set until I sold off my entire collection. Then obviously that was well, I didn't sell off my entire collection. My entire backstock plus a portion of my collection when I moved from Oregon to Arizona. But yeah, why did it pause you for stroking out? Also, what the heck, average player? Why are you not speaking English here? What are you doing? Oh, I understand why, because you and Lysias are scheming. Gotta run to the store. Looking forward to speaking with you after. Yes, of course. I will definitely message you directly after the stream, and then we will go over a couple of things first that have to do with combining your shipping so that we can see if we can make it cheaper for you. All right, let's see. Is there any other messages that I missed? Because I was absolutely burning through it. No, I think we're all caught up here, man. Finally. I've had nothing but issues with FedEx. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Lord Narwhal, as to why I've been afraid to use them, because that's all I've heard. I've never heard anything positive with FedEx. And as much as people give crap about USPS, I very rarely run into an issue with them. Every so often it does happen, because it, of course, every so often does happen, but that's just kind of how it is. But Poke Trainer Mason says, gotta hop. Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to everyone else as well. Hope you all are having an amazing, amazing day. But this might sound kind of preemptive, ladies and gentlemen, but we've been going for about an hour and a half now, and I have a lot of housekeeping things I need to do, and by housekeeping I mean business stuff I need to do, especially playing catch up for the holidays. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to wrap it up a little bit sooner. Usually we go for about 2 hours. I'm going to cut it short. Plus my business partner keeps calling me about something important that I have to discuss with him. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions here and there, and then I'll probably wrap it up a little bit sooner than usual. Did you see what Rhodey said about distributors not getting Sword and Shield reprints for at least a few months? Yeah, he said he doesn't expect to hear news of a reprint for at least another month or 4. That kind of lines up with what I'm saying, which is I expect us to not hear anything until February. So just cut that in the middle of what he's saying. He says 1 to 4 months. I mean, I'm saying probably about 2 months is what my guess is. So yeah, no, it signs up. If we sign up for the Patreon, we get closer to distributor pricing. No, you get distributor pricing, Matthew. So literally in terms of how it is, obviously I can't tell you the names of the distributors, but I of course can tell you the prices for the product in which I'm buying it for. So all of the prices that you're seeing here as demonstrated on the sheet are all prices in which my distributor is charging me. So any of the product that you see that is available here, Astral Radiance booster box prices, Fusion Strike, Chilling Rain build and battles, Chilling Rain booster boxes, Silver Tempest build and battles, etc., etc. Pokemon Trainer toolkits, battle decks, Paldea collection. Like any of this product that I'm showing you, these are all the prices that are given straight from my distributors. How many Astral packs do I have left? Good question. Let me check for you. Let me go to my login real quick. All right, products, active. I have 73 Astral Radiance packs left. Will you be keeping track of how much we'll spend to get higher priority for wholesale? Just asking, wanted to know if we spend like 10K in the first month, then 1K for the next month. Yes. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. If you, I mean, at the end of the day, hypothetically, Chris, right? Let's say you spend 10K the first month and you spend 1K the next month. Let's say that 1K of that product that next month is an allocated item. You're going to 100% get all of that allocated item because you spent 10K the previous month. Now, do I recommend you do that because you're missing out on getting more allocated product because of how much you spent the first month? Well, yeah, of course, because you want to keep your spending up so that you can, of course, get more product that is high demand. However, if you wanted to do it that way, yes, I will, of course, be keeping record of total overall spending as it goes month to month. So, yeah, no, of course. Is the wholesale monthly cost flat free per month or susceptible to inflation? Can you pray for... So Matthew, that's a great question. It is right now, at this point, perceptible to demand or to spot viability. So hypothetically speaking, Matthew, let's say in 2 months from now, an Evolving Skies reprint happens, right? And the demand is extremely high for the Patreon tier and it gets filled up in the next 2 months, right? Then obviously there's an incentive for you to stay in it. Now, let's say that the demand gets so high that there starts to be a limitation to the max quantity of product I'm allowed to distribute on just a 50 Patreon basis, right? Then obviously it's one of those things where there is going to be a general priority at that point. And what I mean by that is if it's one of those things where, okay, well, I know that there is only a certain availability for product and I want to make sure that people are getting their dues. How can I make that better? Do I, of course, split the Patreon tier, a $50 tier and a $25 tier, and then $50 tier is required for X amount of spending, 25 is for general across the board? Do I raise the price and make it so that if you are spending a certain amount, obviously it makes sense for you versus not? There's so many like things that I have to take into consideration that I can't right now based on it. So to kind of answer your question, if you are going to do it for 6 months to a year in advance, you don't really have to think about that because it's obviously something that you'll be secure within the Patreon where it won't affect you. If we do split pricing and you do end up, of course, paying up a year in advance, you're going to be in that $50 tier. If we do increase the pricing, you're going to already have paid in advance, and so that $50 tier pricing is going to stick to you. So that's, I guess, the only thing I can say with that. I know that kind of sucks that I can't give you a definitive answer, but it's hard for me to give that definitive answer based on the fact that I don't know what the demand is. We're almost, of course, 50 is the max right now, 20 is how many we have. So we just do the math. That's about what, it's about 40% of the Patreon filled. So we're still quite a ways away. But like I said before, that could go quick as soon as a reprint happens and everyone's clamoring to get booster boxes for $86 or ETBs, depending upon what's the high demand item, So yeah, a little bad timing. USPS delivered $400 in Japanese cards I ordered, but they never show. Oh, geez, bro, that's tough. Mini Tin Collection is the item to get for Crown Zenith. That is definitely one of the ones I was mentioning. Oh, sorry, joined the stream late. No, you're all good, Matthew. Do you have to order in cases? No, you do not have to order in cases. So I recommend ordering in cases though, because the reason why they're shipped in those cases is because it, of course, is going to be the cheapest in terms of shipping to you. But at the end of the day, if you want to order, let's say, one UPC with the, of course, Pokemon Go tin for the bundle, and then you want to buy like 4 Elite Trainer boxes of Fusion, and you want to buy like 4 Elite Trainer boxes of Silver Tempest, then of course we can totally do that for you. It's not a problem at all. It obviously just might be more expensive for you, unless of course you're like, hey, can you put this on hold for me until I can get a bigger order purchase that I can then combine for shipping. I mean, we can get creative with it, whatever works best for you. That's kind of our whole model. Eli, with distributors pricing included in taxes, I would like to understand if that'd be worth for me to be shipped to Germany. So I obviously can't tell you in terms of if it's going to be charged for you in Germany, because I don't live in Germany. I live in the US, but the distributor tier, you are not charged tax at all. There's no tax included, and that is because the whole idea of the wholesale tier is it's a facilitation, as if I am a middleman for you guys for my distributors. And with my purchasing of distributors, obviously I have a resale tax license, which allows me to resell product without, of course, having to pay taxes. So when I am reselling the product to you guys from my distributor, that is being done so with 0 tax implications for it. And so that's why we're structuring it the way we're structuring it. How long can you hold? I would say that I can probably hold for about up to, I want to say, oh God, that's a great question, Steven. But yeah, to answer your question, in the US, you don't pay any taxes. But how long can I hold? Well, so we obviously, with our Patreon, we have a storage tier. So if it is something that you're interested, you can always pay for that on a monthly basis. But if it's something where you're like, hey, can you hold it for like 2 or 3 weeks in case, so that by the time I get paid next, then obviously we can hold it for 2 or 3 weeks so that we can wait for your next paycheck for you to pay for your second batch, and then we can ship it all at once. But once it gets to the point of where it's like, hey, can you hold it for 4 weeks to a month, then obviously it's something that I would consider looking into the storage tier to make it something that we are obviously having to compensate for. And then at that point as well, if we do see it's a consistent theme of purchasing, then that's something that you also should reevaluate as well if you're consistently wanting us to hold things. And does your store resell exclusive boxes like GameStop, Arceus, or Amazon exclusives, or do you just buy for personal hold? Remember hearing you mention the Evolution set. Well, the Evolution set was in reference to the Evolution Premium VMAX boxes. That was an item from distributors, not the GameStop exclusive one in which I'm referencing. Eli, I spent about $500 on Pokemon a month. Is it worth it? If so, I'm in. It depends on what you're buying in Pokemon, but I would say it's worth it. I mean, just do the math here, right? I said that if you're at least buying a booster box a month, or booster box case a month, then it's worth it. 86 times 6 is 516. So you're right around that price of it being worth it. Obviously, you have to still pay for the additional fees and whatever charges. But if you're spending around that general amount, then I would say it's worth it. Because, I mean, just think about this, right? Let's say that let's say that an Evolving Skies reprint happens, right? And we'll use the example with the reprint, and then we'll use the example without the reprint. Evolving Skies reprint happens. Let's say you're paying just $50 a month, and you're not even buying anything, right? Right now, we'll just say, for the sake of the argument, it's about $300 for an Evolving Skies booster box, minus 86 if a reprint were to happen, that's $214. Do the math. If you didn't buy a single thing and you just purchased one Evolving Skies booster box from us for 86 bucks, that's 4 months worth of expenses. If you, of course, get the numbers for that. You know, same concept for Brilliant Stars if you were to get 2 booster boxes worth, right? So that's obviously something you can calculate into it. Now, if you're saying to yourself, okay, well, let's say a new set comes out for, you know, Elite Trainer boxes of Scarlet and Violet, right? And let's say that the market price is like 35 bucks and you're buying it for me for 25 bucks, right? A pop. So you're saving 10 bucks each item, right? Then you do the math. You say you buy a case's worth, which is 10, and you're saving 10 bucks. That's 100 bucks. You're paying 50 bucks. And then, of course, however much it is to ship, we'll say, for the sake of the argument, we'll say 20 to be safe. You're saving at least 30 bucks if you're just purely buying at least one case of Elite Trainer boxes on a monthly basis. So it can, of course, change based on the product that you're purchasing. But I would say for most people, it makes sense mathematically for you to, of course, do it, especially when prices for product that are high demand are going to get reprints or new set releases come out and you're able to get it for the cheapest price possible. Love the service you provide and the content. I've seen other channels start great, but grow into something that's just not for me. But your service and content is exactly something I've been looking for. If the community grows, hope you'll have the team that will be able to handle support of the patrons. Content services. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot. A lot of people have said that a lot of PokeTubers start off one way and they transition into another way, in which it's obviously been something that a lot of people have been bummed about. And I want to make sure that I'm true to myself, I'm true to my followers, and I do whatever I can to just keep the motivation in mind, which is what can I offer to the community that is best. If we join the wholesale before it gets full, but then we don't continue it within the following months, we'll have to wait to you to open more spots for it. If it fills to 50, yes, you will. So if it goes to 50 and you don't get in, I'm not trying to say this to make you FOMO, because this is literally just the reality of the situation. If it does fill to 50, that means there's no more spots. If there's no more spots, then you can't obviously get in until there's a reevaluation or someone leaves. It's just as simple as that. 50 to make it feel every month Black Friday. That's a perfect way to explain it, Steven. There is a tax for supporting you. Didn't know that was the case on the Patreon. Well, is that because you're outside of the US? Is that why? Poke department store, that's so funny. Well, if it is a fee, a tax that it's charging you for $75, whoa. Well, if that's the case, then I might have to consider, that does sound like a tough night. I feel some FOMO from my financial advisor, Steven says. Hey, I'm not, don't say that. If it's a fee because you live outside of the US, then what we can do is I can look at trying to come up with a solution for that, because for most purchases for people that live outside the US, I use Wise because it's super cheap when it comes to the transfer rates. And so I can just try and see about like managing it through Wise. The only thing that I've always been annoyed with is just can be a pain in the butt trying to manage that completely through Wise, because it's not something that I'm just automatically notified of. Like with Patreon, when someone, leaves or joins or whatever, it manages that for me. But yeah, Wise is an app that I would say that we could try and use as an alternative method to solving that. Great, I'm up for it. Let's go. How do I sign up and get ordering? Links down in the description below, brother. Or at least it should be for this live stream. I'm sorry, my nose is itchy and I feel bad having people see me itch my nose. Let me actually make sure that the description is, of course, up to date. Copy. Live. All right, it should be up to date if it wasn't already. All right, going back to it. Unfortunately, yes, but it was Mexico. You have loads of free time right now, Poco Department Store says. Well, that's always nice. Then I can use you for things is what I'm hearing now. But yeah, if you have any more questions, of course, with the Patreon in general, feel free to always message me privately on Discord. I'm pretty responsive when it comes to it, except for Lysias, apparently. I completely spaced it. I apologize for that. But yeah, if you want to message me again, Lysias, let's have a conversation about it, because my biggest thing was for people that live outside the US. I obviously want to make sure that I can offer a I can offer it to you guys without making taxes and fees be something that adds on top of it. So I will come up with a way that we can solve that issue. If I sign up, do I get an autographed energy card with my first order? If you message me and say, hey, can I get an autographed energy card? I will sign your autographed energy card. No problem, brother. So I am more than happy to cater that until people that are until I have enough people that are like saying that every single order they want an autographed energy card, which that is not the case so far, then yeah, I can totally do that for you. Let me know if you need anything. Yeah, we definitely should catch up at some time. All right, Koga, I feel that. That's so funny. No, did not mean for that to happen. I want a signed alt art. If you want to lose money, then go for it. I'll sign your alt art. You know what? I want an autographed energy card for my next order. Go for it, man. Oh, that's so funny. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Like I said, I was gonna wrap it up a little early, so it's 1:47 is how long we're going for. So wrapping it up about 13 minutes early. But of course, before you leave, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe. As always, if you have questions about the Wholesale Patreon, make sure you feel free to message me on that. But outside of that, of course, if you want to, support the channel anywhere, enter our weekly giveaways. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and then check all the links down in the description below for anything else. But as far as it goes for today's video, thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you all